Today, we're diving into a really exciting medical breakthrough fresh from the New England Journal of Medicine. It's a potential game changer for anyone who suffers from severely blocked sinuses, and trust me, the results are pretty remarkable.
But first, just take a second and imagine that. What if you couldn't smell your coffee brewing in the morning, or that amazing smell right after it rains? For millions of people, this isn't just a hypothetical question. It's their reality every single day. It's a condition that steals away so much more than just your sense of smell.
So let's talk about what's actually causing all this misery. We're going to get into a condition called chronic rhinosinusitis with nasal polyps. I know, it's a mouthful, so we'll just call it CRSWNP for short.
Okay, so what is it? Basically, think of your body's own defense system. Its inflammatory response, just going into complete overdrive inside your sinuses. This runaway inflammation causes these soft, grape-like growths, polyps, to form. And these polyps physically block everything up, leading to a whole host of awful symptoms.
And believe me, the burden is huge. We're not just talking about a stuffy nose here. This is constant pressure in your face, losing your sense of smell entirely, not being able to sleep properly, and a kind of deep, overwhelming fatigue that just drains you.
And you know, the really frustrating part for so many people is that the current treatments just don't get to the root of the problem. You can have surgery to clear out the polyps, but because that underlying inflammation is still raging, they just grow back. It's this exhausting cycle of surgeries and steroids, which, of course, have their own side effects.
But this is where the story takes a turn. This is where the new research comes in. Scientists started thinking, okay, instead of just dealing with the consequences, what if we could shut the whole thing down at the source? And they found a major clue.
They zeroed in on this one molecule called thymic stromal lymphopoietin, or TSLP. The easiest way to think about TSLP is as the body's master alarm protein. In people with CRSWNP, the cells in their sinuses are just blasting this alarm 24/7, which tells the immune system to freak out and cause all this inflammation. It's like the very first domino that gets pushed over.
So that led to a really powerful idea. What if you could just silence the alarm? And that's exactly what this new drug, Tezepelumab, is designed to do. It's a specialized antibody that basically acts like a heat-seeking missile. It finds that TSLP alarm protein and completely blocks it, shutting down the inflammatory signal before it can cause any damage.
Of course, having a great theory is one thing. You've got to prove it works in real people. And that brings us to the Waypoint trial. This was the big, high-stakes test to see if blocking this alarm protein could actually change things for patients.
And they did not mess around with this trial. It was super rigorous. They took over 400 adults who had it really bad. Half of them got Tezepelumab, the other half got a placebo, a dummy drug, and the crucial part is nobody knew who got what, not the patients, not even their doctors. They followed everyone for a full year, looking at two main things. Did the polyps actually get smaller, and did people feel less congested?
So after that year was up, they finally unblinded the results. And wow, they weren't just good, they were an absolute clear-cut victory.
First off, the physical evidence was just undeniable. Look at the change in the size of the polyps for the people who got Tezepelumab. It was a massive reduction. Now compare that to the placebo group where there was barely any change at all. The drug was literally shrinking the blockages.
And that physical change made a huge difference in how people felt. This wasn't just something you could see on a scan, you could feel it. Their nasal congestion scores dropped like a rock compared to the placebo group. I mean, they could finally breathe again through their noses.
But as amazing as that is, there was another result that might be the most life-changing of all for people stuck in that horrible cycle we talked about.
So in the placebo group, the ones who didn't get the drug, more than 1 in 5 of them, 22%, got so much worse during the year that they ended up needing surgery. That's pretty typical for this disease.
Now, get ready for this. In the group that got Tezepelumab, just 0.5%, less than 1%. I mean, that difference is absolutely staggering. The drug cut the need for surgery by nearly 98%. It essentially stopped the disease from progressing.
You don't have to take my word for it. The researchers' own conclusion in the journal says it all. Tezepelumab led to significantly greater reductions in just about everything you could measure. This wasn't some minor tweak. This was a major leap forward. So the big question is, what does this all mean? Where do we go from here? Well, this breakthrough really does point to a whole new era for treatment. What we're seeing is a fundamental shift in strategy. We're moving away from just managing the outcome, the polyps, the congestion, and we're now able to target the actual source of the problem. It's the difference between constantly bailing water out of a leaky boat
versus just plugging the leak. And for the people living with this, the benefits are just so tangible. We're talking about a dramatic improvement in their quality of life, regaining that precious sense of smell, needing far fewer steroids, and, maybe most importantly, finally having a way to break free from that relentless cycle of surgery.
And that leaves us with one last, really fascinating thought. This TSLP molecule, this master alarm, it isn't just involved here. It's a key player in other inflammatory diseases, like severe asthma. So this success raises a massive question. If we can silence this one alarm protein, could that be the key to unlocking treatments for a whole range of other diseases too? It really feels like this story is just getting started.